You two were spatting each other, now you're sitting in the back row like a roomie.
But today we're out there.
You know, we can do that. We grew up together, we can do that.
Call the meeting to order. Start with roll call, please.
Okay, Anderson.
Here.
Espinoza. Sorry, here. Graham.
Yep.
Jackson.
Here.
Miles.
Here.
Randall.
Here.
And Kutil is absent with notice.
Look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make it a motion, excuse me.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Look for a motion to approve the minutes of the September 30th, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the minutes from the September 30th, 2025 meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public chairs are empty except for those that are here for business, so we have no public comments. And there we are at 7:01, so we have plenty of time to hear from Mr. Christensen.
Code enforcement items I'm addressing, pretty much the usual, tree branch in the street, pet licenses, parking on grass, and then no building permits, building without a building permit.
How are things looking up on North Vandermark?
You talking the hearing we had a while back? I believe I got the 30th, those Thursdays are deadline, so I haven't checked anything really since.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't even looked to see if they're,
No, I haven't.
she was in, the owner's wife was in earlier this week on some other business and believe, and she knows it's gonna get checked again, but it sounds like they've moved the building, they brought in gravel to that parking area, so it sounds like they're close, if not already getting it all taken care of. I haven't looked at it either, like I said, Kyle's gonna recheck it, but it sounds like they're getting everything in order.
Yep, I got a notice for Thursday, check it out. so.
So earlier this summer, we gave notice to all of the property owners along Highway 38, and their ditches needed to be cut down and cleaned up. What's the status on the post office?
I have not heard from them. I know Teresa and I kind of discussed it, kind of with the difficulty of it, but I suppose I can follow up.
Do they hire that out? I'm assuming.
All the mowing and everything is hired out, yes.
I mean, do we know who mows it?
I don't.
That's what I think that was.
No one knows it?
I'm pretty certain Todd Walls does. And Todd's not gonna be, wasn't interested in doing any of that, because he mows the professional center and they hired us, because
He wasn't doing that?
he wasn't doing that either. But in the meantime, I've had questions from a couple of those property owners is, how come we got told we had to have it done by a certain day, we paid people to come in and get this done, everything else, and nothing ever happened at the post office. And, I mean, as one of them said to me, he said, the city letter said if I didn't have it done by this day, the city staff would be coming here to take care of it. City staff never get anything at the post office either, so the optics of not doing anything there is not good along that road right now.
Yep.
I'll look at that date and get them there. Yeah, I'll work on it.
What was the original date?
Sometime back in August.
So it should be done by the end of the week?
So I reached out to their North Oaks address, and then it's, property itself has like a Sioux Falls address, and I sent them a second letter and I never heard back, so I'll follow up with them.
Correct me if I'm wrong, what the thing is that they would lease on the property?
Correct, yeah.
We were having a hard time getting who the actual property owner is. I think that was the problem we were
Well,
running
I mean,
into.
the property owner's public notice on GIS. That's who owns it, whoever's name is there.
Yeah, that's what I went to.
Yeah.
Who owns it, Todd? Todd knows it?
Todd knows it.
I'm sure he knows who owns it.
Well, Todd gets paid by the postmaster because the tenant is in charge of lawn care. So,
Is the postmaster there every day?
yep.
And then follow up with them.
Today's Tuesday. There's 3 more days left in the week.
Anybody have any other items? Mr. Christensen? If not, our timing is perfect because it is 7:05 and we'll go to our 7:05 conditional use hearing, multifamily units for Lot 1, Block 1 of Windsor Addition. Teresa, if you'll give a staff report first.
Okay. In your packet is my staff report, but basically, Old Code Construction has submitted an application in conjunction with property owners. They, for a lot up there at the Windsor addition, they would like to erect multi-units on the property. There's actually 7 buildings. 6 of them will be 14 units. One of them is going to be a 10 unit. There is a site plan in your packet for you to look at. The entrance to the site is going to be off of Rubach Street, which is the street to the south there that's going to be placed in. They basically, we looked over, I've listed them there on my report, but basically, they're going to be within all city regulations as far as area, setback, landscaping, whatnot. Like I said, per our regulations though, any units over 2, 3 or more do require conditional use permit from this board, so you can review it. You can prove it as is, you can put various conditions on it. I know I talked with representative, and he is here tonight, Caleb, with it. He did indicate they're going to have a couple spots for garbage or whatnot. I don't know exactly where, maybe he can point it out a little bit more to us on that. Usually we do require some kind of fencing or, screening on those, just so for the aesthetics of looking at it. On the site plan, a couple of kind of grassy areas you can kind of find in the parking lot. Those are going to be landscape, and they're going to kind of be pet release stations as well as on there. So, like I said, this is going to go on Rubach Street north. It's going to be that large parcel for each of these buildings. So, any specific questions? And like I said, we do have a representative here that if you have any questions directly for them.
I'm going to make a comment on the refuse areas. I know that it's always a big thing that we get apartment buildings, whatever, that we fence those, contain those, whatever it might be. Being in the snow removal business, it's a really bad idea.
Can they kind of block or
Because
act like
it-
a silk fence or something?
Because it collects up blowing snow, it fills them all in, then the garbage company comes along and they can't roll the dumpster out, so they don't collect the garbage that week. Then all the garbage gets thrown in there, and then it piles up some more, and then finally somebody gets around to saying to us, hey, we got a bunch of snow in there, and the garbage guys can't do it. And then you come over and you get to move a dumpster full of garbage out before you clean the snow out of there. The places that we've done snow here in town that don't have enclosures are so much nicer to take care of. And we have, speaking of this, I'm taking a squirrel here. Last I checked, down 2nd Street here by the school, there's apartments. There's a dumpster sitting in the front yard there. Is that always sitting in the front yard? Kyle, do you want to take a look, make a note of that, drive down the street and look at that? I came down the street the other day, there's a dumpster sitting in the front yard.
Which apartments? They blue?
It's, yeah, so you go right on the corner of 2nd and Fighter, and then there's that blue twin home there, then there's yellow apartments, and it's the next apartments past that to the east.
Is it on Easter?
So it would be on east corner, Eastern and 2nd.
So usually, I guess
Usually
I've never
the
paid
dumpsters
attention.
are
Usually it's
not-
in the back.
Yeah.
It's all east.
North side of the property.
Yeah.
I didn't remember seeing it before, but I saw it the other day, so you might want to just take a gander at that. But that's my only comment on the
If they
on the
don't-
fencing in the garbage areas is, I know aesthetically, you're not looking at dumpsters,
Right.
but in the wintertime, I've seen them become quite a mess.
And I suppose it would be hard to put a top on it as well. Like, put it in an enclosure and then have, unless it's in a garage. But,
I've
Then the
seen,
garbage truck can access it probably.
well,
seen
they roll them out from inside.
I've seen some,
anyway.
I've seen a couple, 3 in Sioux Falls that are that way. And yeah, I mean, that's not as bad.
Because then it's not filling in with snow, but yes, I help
But-
move snow from those.
Yeah, I guess you have been involved in
I
that.
have. It's not fun.
I wonder if it's any better just doing like 3 sides, so you leave one side all open.
It doesn't make
so
any
they-
difference.
It still fills in.
Still gonna fill in.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
where
it's still
I'm
gonna
going
go
on it
up, yeah.
is I don't want us, it's not in any of our regulations that they have to.
No,
correct?
no,
No.
that's not any.
And
they have to.
I prefer that we not put as a condition on this, if the property, if the guy putting up the building wants to fence it in and make it look better, all the power to him.
They
But,
can move the snow.
but I
I thought it
hate,
was a requirement to have those enclosed, fenced off, because that was a Maple Pass situation, that those needed to be.
It's a requirement of the conditional use.
What's that?
I think it was a requirement of the conditional use with the Maple Pass. About almost every multi-unit we've had, we've done that in the past. And I can double check and look, but.
So the board made it a
Right,
condition.
yes,
Part
that's,
of the
yeah.
CU.
that's part of
because staff recommended it.
that. The staff recommends, it, yes.
The problem is that nobody wants to open the big gates, they just throw their garbage over the fence and it just piles up.
That's the, yes, that's the other
That's an
problem
issue
is.
too, so maybe
Yeah.
it's not such a good practice.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yes,
go ahead.
Please.
It's your building, tell us what you
My
think.
preference on these, and so I don't mind whatever condition, is to actually fence them, but fence them with CMU block and put a roof on them. One, it helps the snow, 2, it looks a little bit better long-term, and you can spray them down and all that stuff, and the fences don't get locked in. I mean, it costs a little bit more, but it lasts forever. So that's, I mean, you don't have to put a condition on it, but that's the best way long-term for maintenance and for aesthetics.
Is that what you foresee or plan for this?
Yeah, it's like,
Complex, you think?
last one we built in Sioux Falls, they got really upset because they wanted us to fire sprinkle that. So then I had to
In
build
Sioux
it out of
Falls?
different stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, because, well, that one was a little bit different because it was closer to the building. It was tucked between 2 buildings, so it wasn't the exact same situation. So, you know, I like to build CMU block and put a roof on them. That's a little bit against the rules right now in Sioux Falls, but that's what I prefer to do here.
But I saw your head shaking when I talked about filling full of snow and the garbage guys.
It's
don't.
terrible. I have some stuff, it's a lot worse in strip malls where you have restaurants and then you just have fences around them, that's a disaster. But with a roof on them, they work pretty well. And so if there was some issues with the fire, then we probably build some type of aluminum structure that had some slats on the top to avoid as much snow as possible. So I figured we can make everyone happy with that, maybe.
Make
That sounds
everybody
like a
happy.
good plan.
Works for me.
It's all good.
Including me.
You're, and just, again, from experience and seeing your pet areas, have you guys been doing any turf areas?
Yeah, yes, because they tend to get brown and gross.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know, it's a little bit of a hit or miss depending on what facility we're at, but we either turf it or we just try to like create a rock area with plants so that it doesn't look so bad. Because after about 6-7 months, they get really brown and it's obvious where pets are going.
Yeah.
And typically, those areas don't get sprinklers to help wash it out either.
Right, right.
Good thing they're literally a walk away from a dog park.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
No, it's not.
Anybody else have any questions or concerns?
No, I,
Do we have anyone from the public that's here to address this tonight? Okay.
I think there should be some kind of thing around the dumpsters, personally. That's all. Whether they throw their trash in there or whatever. At least it's contained in the area. I know it may suck for snow removal, but
Do you want to make it part of the thought then?
I think, I would like to see something, if you're gonna do whatever, that's fine. But just so they're not out there sitting in the open, and then trash is falling out of them and blowing all over, at least it's contained.
Well, we've
in
had
some-
complaints with that too, just open dumpsters and,
'Cause the
you know,
wind
and
comes up.
businesses and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
especially there with that northwest wind, where it's gonna be coming in at, and there's nothing out there right now.
I have no opposition to it.
I mean, if you're gonna do whatever, right, anyway, I guess just.
He's cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're cool with it, I think they should have something.
I don't even mind if you say it's gotta have a roof on it. Because
Right.
then at
It's
least,
gonna have a roof on
Set
it.
that precedence, but we could just call out
Yeah, just,
fenced enclosure, and then that could be,
yeah,
or dumpster enclosure.
dumpster enclosure, yeah, it's just gotta have some kind of,
Just an enclosure, then they could go with the block.
yeah.
the only thing
you
that
know,
happens
block.
without a fence sometimes is that the dumpster doesn't get put back to where it should be, because there's no delineation of where it should go.
Right.
And then people are like, why is there a dumpster in our parking lot?
Why is it
Yeah.
dumped
Yeah.
in
I'm
the
like,
front
hey, I have
yard?
the same question.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
right.
So
I'm good
it's,
with that, right?
that is, condition is certainly fine.
I didn't see anything else.
I didn't either.
Anybody else have any conditions? Just to read everything else.
Just a motion.
So I will make a motion to recommend the conditional use on the condition that they have some kind of enclosure around the dumpster area.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to vote. Graham?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Espinoza?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Miles?
Yes.
Approved. Thank you. And thank you for your investment in our community. I've watched the guy you're sitting next to there, though.
Yeah.
Espinoza's told me all about him.
She knows too much.
We keep some secrets. He's becoming a regular. Maybe he should just get on the board.
Maybe.
There's gonna be a spot open.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff. There is gonna be a spot coming open. You're here all the time anyway.
I don't know. I'm on another board already, and good or limited our interests here.
All right. We'll move on to our 7:10 conditional use hearing for detached garage for 402 North Main. Teresa?
Okay, this conditional use hearing is basically, was submitted, and like I said, it's at 402 North Main. That property is a residential property, currently has a house on it with one detached garage on it. The owners would like to put up a second detached building, basically in the back along the alleyway for additional garage area, with having only the one detached garage. Per our regulations, it says you can have two accessory structures, so detached garages, as long as one of them's not over 150 square feet, so kind of like a little shed. With this, we have looked at the properties within the area. There are, we looked at this block, the block to the north, the block to the south. There are a few properties that have basically the same setup, have a garage either attached or detached with it, and then they also have a secondary building, a larger building in the back off an alleyway for access for additional parking. Basically, the plans they submitted will meet all our regulations, all our setback regulations, lot area and width. They'll have ingress, egress off the alleys, how they plan to access the garage. So they would meet our regulations per se, except for once again, having the two buildings upon the property. So that is what they're asking the conditional use permit for.
Any questions for Teresa from the board? Any public comment here for this, against this? Any questions from the board for the applicant?
No. I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve as presented. Any further discussion?
When we approve the condition, if we approve the building, do we want to make sure that the garage matches the other structures? Can we do that?
I mean, that's part of our regulations,
Okay.
that they'll have,
Okay.
similar materials is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
That's what I
Yep.
just wanted to make
That's
sure.
part of our regulation, because they'll still have to meet all the city regulations.
Okay,
This will
perfect.
just be allowing the second detached on it.
Okay.
I have no concerns with this, and especially considering like properties in the neighborhood that already have that.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the precedent of, say if it was in the Crestman edition and all of a sudden somebody wanted to bop a garage in
Yeah.
the backyard, there would be a whole different
Story?
story in my mind.
There's an alley right there too, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be right off the alley.
Yeah. I mean, alley,
And
other
and
alleys.
literally, the property right to the east of them has the exact same set of house, single-car detached, and then basically a two-car garage off the alley. So, I mean, it's, like I said, it's
Yeah.
already in the neighborhood. It's not setting a
Yeah,
precedent.
the reality of that is the zoning or the planning of that neighborhood. It's been
It's been set.
It's been set. The precedent's been set in the
Yes, it's
neighborhood.
already been,
So. Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll go vote. Miles?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Espinoza?
Yes.
Graham?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Randall, yes. Conditional use approved. Now let's have some fun.
Oh, boy. I hate this word TIF.
TIFs are becoming like pools were a few years ago.
I think cocktails should be served about right now.
7:15. Let's discuss the project plan submitted by the Windsor Group for the creation of a tax increment financing district.
okay. As you all know, we've been working with the Windsor Group. They originally submitted a first TIF to the city back in May, I believe it was, April or May. We did approve the creation of that TIF. When it went to city council, there was some discussion that as part of that, they wanted to include the Second Street right-of-way. So basically, improvements to that street can be made through the TIF dollars versus the city having to do a project down the line, having to bid it out, having to come up with money right away. Talked with the developer about that. They were in agreement with it. So we started the process of expanding the TIF district, or basically to include Second Street. Ran into, as you know, a couple of issues with the state. We had to, in order to do that, we had to plat off that right-of-way by itself. We had to then take ownership and annex into the city. So we have done all those steps now, you know, because they've gone through your board. So now we're back in creating TIF District number 3, because TIF District number 2 is dissolved because it didn't meet the criteria. So basically, it's the same TIF that previously came before you in May, but it includes Second Street improvements now. So basically, the main things that have changed is that dollar amount has increased to include basically for Second Street, 2 million, that's basically the biggest change there. And the only other thing is the years for the repayment have gone from 20 years to 25. Otherwise, it is the same exact scenario that was presented back in May. This, just like back in May, this is for creation of the district boundaries to show what the TIF's gonna be. It'll go to the city, if approved here, it'll still go to the city council for final approval. Then they'll have to come back with a draft copy of the TIF plans in there, but basically, you know, present the TIF plan once again, and we're going to have a development agreement saying who's gonna do what. So there's another second step in it as well. But this is creating the district, so here's our number one step.
Teresa, this question really, it deals with this, but it doesn't. When we annex in, if there's roads involved, the roads don't annex or come over to the city? Is that what you're saying? Without taking?
So the trouble with this one is that part of this Second Street, you know, this was a township road, so
Right, so
in
you still got-
townships, so that property that's still in the county, their property went into the roadway there, and so we had to plat that off separately and annex that in separately because that wouldn't have come in, and we can't include the rest of their property in the TIF because it's not part of the city. So-
Yep,
and they-
okay.
So that was why that whole process had to go that way. But usually if we annex in a parcel and it's on both sides, that portion of the roadway does
Okay.
come with it.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep,
but
normally it does if we
I
got
forgot
on
about
both
that.
sides, but since we had this county parcel
You
in
got the
there,
county- you got
it
the
got
county.
kind of a little bit confluted.
You got the house on the corner that stays in the county.
Yep,
And
exactly.
so
Of
then
course, they
that-
wanted to stay in the county, so
And then
was-
that leaves the road still being the township because
Yes,
just like we are on Western with the county,
right, we only got half and half in there, so, yeah, so. That had not been the situation, that would have been the time, yeah, you're exactly
we would
right.
cruise road.
Yep.
Well, I think the mayor was kind of the impetus of adding the street to this after he talked to the mayor of Crooks, who they've done a couple of different projects over there where they've included city infrastructure into the TIF funding. So, I mean, that's, the creativity there I have to applaud. I'll applaud you for accepting the responsibility, because as we know from working with other TIFs, that to start with, if there's not enough tax money there to make the payment that year, you as a developer are still making the payment every year. So,
Yes, that hasn't changed, they're still carrying the TIF, not the
I
city.
mean, yes,
so-
we're extending the time period out, but I'm going to assume that at least for the first couple, 3 years, there's probably additional payment there that wouldn't be there if we didn't have the
Yeah,
street.
the TIF money doesn't cover what's going on.
Right.
But-
And adding the street just makes that pile just become a little bit deeper.
And it's not lopsided. By having that street, it should help me sell land,
Right.
you know, or what, it's mutually beneficial.
Yep, no, I understand
You know,
that.
I guess.
But applaud you for listening to the mayor and taking the extra burden.
Never thought of it until he, threw it out there.
Like I said, it's kind of a win-win, and it kind of benefits his development. City side, like I said, we can get this street in, probably at a lower cost, because we would have had to go through the whole bid process and
How
engineering
deep does that go then from Colton Road
to just the edge of their property.
just to the back part of
Yeah,
that
we're on
property?
both
then?
sides, yep. Because then, once again,
That's
it's county on both
right.
sides, and it's a township road, and we don't have that, and, I mean, at some point, possibly will, but as for now. But this is a good way, like I said, it helps the city to get that improvement right away. TIF dollars paid for it, so the city doesn't have to come up loan or assessment or whatnot, and get that paid for right on the front end. It can get paid off over time. So it's I think it's a win-win.
Is there anybody from the public that wants to talk about it?
I'm assuming that, you haven't stepped up yet, so I'm assuming this is why you're here, so
Well-
step on up.
The only question I have is, on all these tips, is who qualifies, who does not qualify, how that's regulated.
So we have a whole document now that as someone is interested in a TIF, they need to take that document. They have a bunch of criteria that all need to be addressed on that. Guidelines and criterias that they have to go through to even be considered for a TIF. Then once the city, once all those criteria and guidelines are met, basically by administration says, okay, these are all set and met, then they are at the opportunity to come to this board and for us to look at setting up the TIF district. Once the TIF district is set up, then it gets sent out to the state, and the state reviews everything in that TIF district application, and they have to meet all of the state requirements and regulations before it can come back here for us to even talk about actually putting a TIF in place.
So who actually funds the TIF money then? Is that just,
The TIF money is all paid by the increase in taxes.
But it's
Right.
developer finance,
I see.
Yeah, like in this,
no
yeah.
city or tax dollars.
In this situation and the other TIF that we have in place here in town, both of those are developer-held loans. So look at it, a way to look at this, and it's the simplest way I've been able to explain to people is, the developer needs to borrow $2 million in order to develop, put in infrastructure, all that kind of stuff. So they would go to the bank and borrow $2 million, and they sign their name to it, and they need to make the payment on that $2 million. Okay? If they get a TIF, they're still going to the bank and they're borrowing $2 million, and they're still responsible for the payment. The increase in from baseline, so if the taxes on that bare ground were $1,000 before they started to develop it, that $1,000 still goes to the government agencies that were collecting the $1,000. But now because they built and developed the ground, the taxes are $5,000. There's $4,000 there that then goes to that developer's bank to help make that payment.
Oh, I see.
Now, if he's got $4,000 in additional taxes or increment of taxes, you got $4,000 going to the bank, but he owes $50,000. $4,000 pays it down, and the developer still pays $46,000 on the note for that
It's
payment.
just a long way to finance it versus paying for it up front, basically.
In effect, yes.
The city defers receiving that
Right.
tax. The school district, through some economic funding, is still made whole through the state.
But isn't there qualifications that you can't just, I'm not speaking for myself because it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect me, but more so I'm interested in future things that I'm looking at. So doesn't, for instance, that TIF money and all of that, don't you have to qualify as far as a business, not a development, or
So there's two,
what are those
yes.
requirements?
So there's two different ways that you can go on a TIF. The economic development TIF requires to have a certain amount of commercial or business development going into that development. And the regulations are a little bit easier, in effect, to get that TIF when you have economic development built into it. So if you've got commercial property that's gonna generate not only property tax, but sales tax, jobs, all those kind of things. Because the whole idea of the TIF is to help, especially in rural South Dakota or smaller town South Dakota, to help bring developments in that typically wouldn't happen without that being there. You can do a residential only TIF. So you're just gonna put in residential with nothing but houses. Then that TIF is more difficult to get approved by the state.
Yeah, because there's some financing guidelines with that, you know, you can only sell those at such and such a dollar or whatnot. They got
Yeah.
regulations on how much you can.
So is there like apartment buildings and that sort of thing, does that qualify in that category or not?
That could go into.
Workforce housing, it's
Yeah.
Yes.
the first TIF and this TIF had workforce housing and commercial development, both.
Okay.
So you see both sides of that coming in the community.
But the workforce housing still qualifies you in on As long as you have
On
the
the commercial
economic
side.
side, you're on the
Yeah.
economic side.
Yeah.
Sioux Falls did a TIF with Kelly Nielsen out on the east side of Sioux Falls on Arrowhead Parkway, and I believe that district is 100% workforce housing, because part of the stipulations on that TIF was you had so many years to have it built out, and there's a cap on the price of lots and a cap on the price of the actual houses going on there. That he couldn't do anything over, it can't be over a certain amount. That slides up as time goes on to go into effect for inflation. But I believe that's one instance of a residential only TIF.
And that's all set by the state. The
Yes.
state puts out a good, kind of flyer on it that I could email to you about.
Yeah,
Kind
if
of
you would
explains a
get a
little
chance.
bit about tips or
Well, I
whatnot.
seen this tonight, I thought,
Yeah.
well, I have no idea, so I
Let's see
want to
what-
find out.
Yeah, it kind of breaks it down into like a 2-page kind of flyer, but I can give you a little more
Right.
information.
I'll email that to you.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
So, and just an FYI, to make things easier on us, start working in your TIF before you ever think about moving dirt or starting a development.
Wow,
Easy's got it. Good.
jeez. Someone's a little
Just a small.
stinker, isn't he?
Jeff,
He gives you a compliment and then he zings you.
That was not directed directly at you, sir.
Well, you looked right at it.
Any other discussion?
Certainly, city council's had some input.
I mean,
To get to this
all
point.
along this way,
Correct.
yes.
No, this isn't
Yeah.
new to them, and it won't be. when,
No,
you
just
know,
like,
If it comes through this.
you've
floor,
been
the city
voting on
council,
things
yeah.
all through, the council has as well, so, yes, they totally understand what's going on, like I said, so it kind of came about at the meeting with the mayor and
Yep.
Jeff, and, yeah, I saw the benefit to both parties on this.
I mean, we're approving the district, I don't see any concerns.
Nope, I don't either.
It's developer risk, but it supports economic development in the community.
Yep, it's a win for the city.
And I like the multifamily housing that's gonna go in there, at least the plans for that
I
so
like
far.
that better than a one big building.
Yeah. Zing. Careful.
See?
So you got the zinger, Jeff, here goes the good one. Now you've got plans to go vertical before we even have your TIF put together, so thumbs up.
And this doesn't go to, if we approve it, it's approved and it goes to the state for approval, or does it have to?
So it goes to the city council for their.
It does have
For
to.
final approval.
Got
You're
it.
you're gonna do a recommendation.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then we send it into the state,
Okay.
make sure it meets all the criteria, and then we come back with the plan. So we're probably about a month out before
Yeah.
final.
I can't believe you said it started in May, it's been that long.
I'm pretty sure, I think I looked at the original one, and I think it
I thought
was,
it was more like July, but I mean, it's been last.
it had June and the date on it, but I know I looked at her email started kind of in May, so,
It flies when we only meet twice a month too, so.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna recommend that we approve this TIF.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to recommend approval of the creation of Tax Increment Finance District Number 3. Any further discussion? Jackson,
Yes.
Miles,
Yes.
Espinoza,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Randall, yes. Recommendation sent to the city council.
Amen. Got a basketball game to watch.
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. We have no old business. New business, reschedule the November 11th meeting due to the Veterans Day holiday. Can't we just have our meeting on Veterans Day?
You can.
Did you not read the
We're gonna
paperwork?
get paid time and a half to be here, but I can come.
And I don't think we're getting paid a meeting and a half to be here, so. It is my dad's birthday.
It is.
Yeah.
My,
Bring him.
It's easy.
my thought was, can we leave the date there, and if we have agenda items,
Comes up,
something comes up, we can move?
we can.
So we basically say we're gonna leave it there unless we have agenda items, and we'll move it to Monday, the 10th.
I will be on the 10th and the 11th, not that that matters a lot.
Yeah, that really doesn't matter to us.
I assumed it would.
Wow.
I think Aaron's gonna be gone on the 11th.
You guys and your calendars on your
I
phone.
mean, we're going into fall, winter time, so
The amount of things.
There's not a lot of,
Construction
there's not a lot of
stuff.
meetings left.
We possibly have a conditional use for this next meeting, whether it be moved to a Monday or Tuesday, so I do think we will have an agenda item.
okay. Well, if you think we're gonna have one, then let's just go ahead and move the date then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've turned in their,
I'm good with the 10th.
Yeah.
Any basketball games that night?
Oh, probably, but she's mad already that she's having to wait for me to get home to watch it.
I see.
We can record.
Yeah, I'd say the 10th.
I have a hard calendar, so I can't look at my phone.
Probably work better.
You
That
good?
works for me.
Okay.
Monday the 10th, so.
Have a motion to move the meeting to the 10th?
Yeah, unless we don't need it.
I'll make a motion to move it to the 10th.
She thinks she already
I'm
knows.
pretty sure we will, because we had an application
And
come
is-
in for.
As usual, if we have no agenda items, Teresa gets hold of me and we make the decision.
Yeah.
Like I said, and if for some reason that doesn't happen, I'll get a Tony and we'll send out an email.
Okay.
Okay.
That garage we just approved, that was. our first
Oh, yeah, we don't have to approve this or anything. do we?
Teresa, can you note my?
We have to have a motion to approve.
I'm sorry, what?
Date
Can you note my
She said it was, and then just a discussion.
I will be
You
on.
won't be able to make it.
Correct.
At least that's what it is on there.
Well, I'd like us to have a motion, please.
Okay. I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to move to the 10th
Second.
of November.
Have a motion and a second to reschedule our next meeting for November 10th at our normal time. Any other discussion? We'll vote. Graham?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yeah.
Espinoza?
Sure.
Miles?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
See you all on the 10th. Teresa, anything that you have to add to your report?
I don't think I have anything really, I just gave you an update on the projects. We believe we have someone hired for the open public works position. We don't have it official yet, but hopefully, so we'll have more information in the next meeting, you can go there. And right here, I don't have really anything, unless you have any questions about the projects or whatnot. The Western Avenue, it's all open now, we are substantially complete. I mean, obviously, there's some punch list items to do, there's some seeding and stuff that we need done in the spring. We need some riprap at the north end, we've kind of done a walkthrough on some of that stuff. But I mean, it's open,
Park fee
workable,
renewal?
and
Park fee for what?
our portion of it anyway.
It's nice to
And it
finally
is-
have.
Because it's going to take just a little
It's
bit.
still a
Nice
little
road.
narrow in spots, but it's still really nice to drive.
Yeah, it's a nice road.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
How much more bridge, are they doing a whole nother big lane, or is it only just a little?
It'll be
bit?
wider, it'll,
12 feet.
12 more feet?
12 feet.
yeah, because it's gonna, I mean, the driving lanes will be wider, and there'll be eventually the sidewalk and the bike path outside, so, yeah,
Oh,
it'll
I
be
forgot about-
wide.
On the bridge, there'll be a sidewalk and a bike
Yes.
path?
I forgot about
It'll
those.
go all the
going
way
there.
down to Jeffrey, so,
Oh.
yeah, what's there isn't gonna,
I knew they were doing more to the east,
East.
but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
how much more they were doing.
yep, so,
Nice.
driving lanes will be nice and wide, so, yeah.
When is that supposed to be done?
June.
It's gonna be that long to finish that piece?
Yeah, I don't know if it's taken quite that long, but it'll be into next spring.
Got it.
Next year, so.
Depends if it stays nice till January, they can keep working
The
on bridge.
the bridge crew is not letting, I mean, they got to where they hoped to, and with the nice weather, they're already digging footings for that.
I think they're going a little further than they
As long as the weather
even
holds.
thought.
Nice.
I talked to a couple of them, they said, no sense being laid off, let's just keep right on working.
Exactly.
Well, exactly, the sooner you can get it,
Because
the
when-
less to do next spring.
When they quit here, a whole bunch of people are done working for
Well,
them.
I mean, they're from Nebraska, I wonder how far south they go, or if
Uh-huh.
they just don't migrate south.
I don't know.
Migrate.
Migrate.
Are they ducks?
Big birds.
Teresa, I have a request
Hispanics, I guess, I don't know.
of you as far as your report.
Yep.
Is it possible that you could edit down your report
You don't like all that back history?
so that I don't have 7 pages that I print out, 5 and,
I thought you'd like that history to,
well,
you
if
have a
I,
question of where we started.
if I need to go to the history, I can just go back
Oh, you
6
could.
months and print that report out then.
I can whittle that down. Kind of like it, but I can whittle it down for the easy
It's not
part.
very often somebody asks you for less.
I know, I'm okay with it.
Especially Tony, he's usually asking for more.
Uh-huh, but yeah, I just assumed if you could whittle that down
I
to,
can do that, I can do it.
like the
I
last
can
6,
definitely do less if you want.
like the last 6 months.
Yep, I can do that.
You're good. Anything else for Teresa?
Oh, I make a motion
Two.
to adjourn. Oh my gosh, the words weren't coming.
I'll second.
The motion and
Oh, it sucks
second
to get
adjourn,
over.
all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
The words wouldn't.
And no, I saw the blank stare in your face, I was like, she's done, she's shelled,
I can,
you're out of
that trace cell, as my friend would say, that
Tell me.
trace cell was going around.
All righty.